Hello everybody, I am Dr. Gurunathan, teaching faculty working at Christu Jayanti College, Bengaluru. Welcome to today's session which speaks about research and introduction. To begin with, the first question is what is research? When you say research, it is searching for knowledge of facts, or sometimes it can be simply finding answers to the questions that we generally have. It can even be a simple question. In other words, it's seeking solutions to the problems, and it is a scientific way of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting data and presenting information about a particular subject to clarify the doubtful facts and to correct misconceived facts. It is often referred with different terms. For example, research is sometimes referred as investigation, more specifically as purposive investigation, or sometimes even called as organized inquiry. And it is considered to be a continuous phenomenon, and it is guided by framework of philosophies, procedures, methods, and techniques that are already tested for their validity and reliability. When you speak about the research philosophy, it's a belief about the way in which the data regarding the phenomenon should be gathered, analyzed, and used. And when you speak about research, it is generally considered to be occurring in three steps. The first step involves framing a question. The second step involves gathering data in the form of answers to the question. And the final step involves revealing an answer to the question. And there has been plenty of definitions given to the term research. The most simplest one and the widely accepted definition was given by Redman and Mori in 1952. It's a very simple definition which says systematized effort to gain new knowledge. Earlier to this, there was a couple of definitions which was widely employed by various researchers in all fields. One was given in 1927 by Clifford Woody, which is a bit lengthy one, but interesting one. Similarly, in 1930, two important scientists, one is called as Schlesinger and the other one is Stephenson. They actually came up with an interesting definition to the word research. And it says the manipulation of things, concepts, or symbols for the purpose of generalizing to extend, correct, or verify knowledge. Whether that knowledge aids in construction of theory or in the practice of an art. And this was given as a part of the Encyclopedia of Social Sciences. And this became more popular that many people started employing this for their research definitions. Whenever we are trying to find answers to our questions, there are two methods by means of which you can do that. Number one is an arbitrary method, which is often subjective in nature and it differs between person to person because it can include their imaginations, their opinions, their blind belief, and their impressions. Because of this, the arbitrary method is sometimes even referred as crude or a rudimentary method. Whereas when you speak about the second important method, it is commonly referred as a scientific method, or it can also be called as a logical method or a systematic method, where it is more objective in nature and more precise because it arrives at a conclusion on the basis of verifiable facts or empirical evidences. This makes this method more dependable, and many research activities depend on this approach in today's world. And when you speak about characteristics of research, there are several important characteristics that a researcher must possess. Number one is being systematic. It should be logical. It should be generalized. It should be controlled. It should be rigorous, and it should be empirical. Apart from all these characteristics, there are a few other characteristics which are also supposed to be considered to be a part of characteristics of research. It should be a reliable research. It should be a valid one. It should employ a hypothesis. It should have an analytical and an accurate outcome. It should have a proper credibility, and it should also have critical questions to answer. If you have all these, then the research can be considered, or at least if you have a majority of these being covered in a research aspect, then definitely that research is considered to be an interesting one and a significant one. When you speak about the need for a good quality research, right? Okay, it should have a clearly defined purpose. It should have common concepts that are employed, that is clearly and easily understood by everyone, and the research procedures, the protocols are given elaborately so that anybody who wants to redo it can try and perform it again. And a meticulous and sensibly planned research design is followed. At the same time, it is enlisting all the possible errors and their probable impact on the results. And the other factor is it is having adequate analysis of the data so that it will reveal its significance, and the methods that are employed for analysis are appropriate, as well as the validity and the reliability of data is checked on a cautious note, and the researcher is having a good grasp over the used research methodologies and is intelligent and experienced in working with the data as well as the research methodologies that are employed there. And finally, in every step of the research being conducted, the ethics are being followed. So these are the important characteristics that we can look into when we want to speak about a good quality research. And when you speak about the significance of the research, research has several significance. Number one is it helps in generating and expanding knowledge. It helps us to solve problems, which can be either operational or it can be on a planned stage. It helps in reducing level of risk in our decision making. It helps in effective handling of opinions and attitudes, and it helps in establishing relationship between the variables, and it is also forming the basis for many innovative aspects around us. Not only that, when you speak about research, this is helping us not only individuals but also the government, right? Okay, all the government policies that we are having today in our economic system is based on the research that is being carried out. And you should also understand that it should help us in deriving conclusion from the data that we have. Not only that, it should help us in aiding forecasting and planning different aspects around us, and it also helps in improving our critical thinking skills and thus critically evaluate the published research that we already have, and it should be helping in becoming research literate and know to how to carry out research in our own words. With that, I complete my today's session. We'll meet again with another interesting session. Take care. Thank you.